Hi, my name is Julie Warham, and I am a literacy consultant. I'm here today to share with you some of the work I have done for Northville Public Schools. Northville Public Schools was interested in having all of the UFLI lessons that their teachers use uploaded into their learning management system. They use Schoology, and so that's where I came in. Created and uploaded all 128 UFly lessons for teachers K through 2. Of course, those lessons are also accessible by grades 3, 4, and 5, since we know sometimes some students, even in the upper grades, need some help with those foundational skills. I also created games that are aligned to each skill. Those games are actually created by UFly, but I took them and put them all into the learning management system to create a one-stop shop for the teachers so that when they are planning, they can simply go to the resource folder, find their lesson, find the game that aligns with that skill being taught, and they're ready to go. Let me show you a little bit about what that looks like. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So what you see here is Northville Public Schools Curriculum Library K through 5. And here are the grades, starting with kindergarten all the way through 5th grade. So in kindergarten, 1st grade, and 2nd grade, I created and uploaded lessons for the Getting Ready A through J because those lessons are applicable to all 3 grades. Once I uploaded those, I went on to lessons 1 through 128. Let's just take a look at those lessons in 1st grade. Going into the ELA folder, I created UFly resources. You can see it starts with the Getting Ready lessons A through J, and then 1st grade starts at lesson 35 with the alphabet review and longer words. And then all the lessons within that category are lessons 35 through 41, excluding lesson 38, of course, which is taught in 2nd grade. And then you also have, it continues with all the digraph lessons, all the VC silent E lessons, all the way through to lessons 107 to 110, which are, of course, the suffix spelling changes. Let's look a little bit closer at what each lesson offers. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Alphabet Review and Longer Words, lessons 35 through 41. Here you can see all of those lessons are included, and every single lesson includes the following. Let me just show you lesson 35A, short A review. Going to the lesson overview, notice that the lesson starts with a learning target and a success criteria. That is included in all the lessons. I also noticed that the UFLI library doesn't show teachers what slides are to be used for day 1 and day 2. So I included that as well, so that once teachers upload this into their lessons, they can find the slides quickly. And then I've also aligned for every lesson, I aligned a song, a little wiggle or movement break from Jack Hartman or Jan Richardson, who are some of our students' favorite people. And again, that skill, letter A, is the short A we're working on in this lesson. And so that is the little song that I included with this lesson. What I found as a teacher is that this helped me a lot with management. So we know that our students need a lot of materials when they are getting ready for a UFly lesson. So they need their marker board, letter trays, marker, and eraser. So I would play this music in an effort to help them manage their time, get their materials quickly, and find their smart spot so that they were ready to begin. They knew that once the song was over, they should have their supplies and they should be in that smart spot. This was also a nice way to get their minds ready for the skill that we were going to be addressing for that day. So it was my anticipatory set. And then, of course, I also included the slides that are linked to this particular skill of Short A review. Teachers can simply upload that through their Google Slides. I like to do that before school started, have all my slides ready to go. And then once it's loaded, you're ready to begin with that lesson. Now, another thing that I did for the Northville Public Schools is that I created, if I can just head back to, here we go. I created well, I didn't create the games, actually, UFLI created the games. But what I did is, again, created a one-stop shop. So once my first grade teachers go into this folder, they go to ELA and they go to UFLI resources, they can not only find the Getting Ready lessons and all the lessons needed for first grade, they can also find, I've already uploaded the UFLI games for first grade. So when they click on that, they will get an entire list of all the games available, starting again at lesson 35. So what I did is I took the QR code from the generator that's located on the UFLI website, and I copied it here. I named the lesson 35 along with the skill that's being addressed and the name of the game that the students could play. Now I use this, and I'm sorry, before I get to that, I have included all of the games for kindergarten, first grade, and second grade. So all of the games are there. Now, I used these games in many ways. Let me just stop my sharing and show you. So I printed out the game and then I copied them onto cardstock. So for example, here's an orange card that's been laminated, and this is that lesson 35 short A ups and downs game. So what I would do is if I had a few extra minutes at the end of my UFly lesson, I could put a card like this on each of my students' tables, and then they could use an iPad, the camera on the iPad, to easily get into the QR code and then play the game with their partner, practicing those important skills of segmenting and blending those words together. This was also used by my paraprofessionals who might be coming into the classroom to pull a small group. So I would identify those students based on my assessment data, and I kept a book, a binder of all these games. At least these are lessons 35 through 72, but I kept a binder with all of the page protectors, and there was a copy of the game, and then there's all the cards that I spoke of, so that when a para came in and had some extra minutes, they could pull a student or students and then play the game in a small setting with the para. I also like to copy the link or send the QR code home to parents so that they could play the game if I found that those students needed some extra support. Or sometimes I even front loaded a lesson by sending the game home and letting my ESL students or maybe my struggling readers play the game before the lesson was taught to give them an edge on and kind of front load that information. Well, I hope that you have found some of this helpful. Again, I'm available and you can contact me on my website. I would love to help further your student success in literacy. Thank you.